Hi, my name is Nicolosi, and welcome to the Permanent Rain Press.
Hi everyone, it's Chloe with the Permanent Rain Press today. I'm happy to be joined once again by Liam Nicolosi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Glad to be back.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you back. And like were saying, you've been really busy, and we'll get into DI4RI and Giulio's story this season. But I first wanted to ask you, I saw in August you were actually back in the US. You spent some time in New York and Boston. So what was it like being back in America?
Oh yeah, it's always nice going back. I hadn't been there for a while because of COVID and all sorts of stuff happening. So it was my first time back in a while, and I went university scouting. I don't know how many I saw. Don't ask me, but I saw a lot, and it's a bit overwhelming because they're all like, "Oh, this school is really good, but it has a -3% acceptance rate," and you always get a bit scared. But I guess it's normal.
Yeah, very overwhelming, but that's cool that you were kind of looking at schools abroad as well. I guess seeing different
Yeah,
options for you.
yeah.
Now, how has your life changed since the show's release last year?
All right, so it actually hasn't changed that much. Like, I think the biggest change happened in like the first months it came out, and it was just a bit weird. Like, oh, it went well, that's cool. But in the rest, I mean, I try keeping it as normal as possible. The only thing that changes is sometimes on the street, I have someone asking me for a photo, and it's always nice. It's always really lovely to stop for a couple seconds, and sometimes have a little chat. But yeah, mostly I'd say it's remained the same, except maybe the photos for sure, and some like events that I've gone with Netflix, which has been pretty fun. Like,
Yeah, I noticed you have been attending different events, different premieres. You were at a fashion show, Shazam, Lupin premieres. Has it always come naturally to you being in these like big social settings? Because there's a lot going on.
yeah, I know it's really strange actually, because when I think about it, I'm like, oh my, it's so intense, it's so cool. Like, but when I'm there, it just I think comes naturally. Like, I don't really think about it like that, what's happening, but I have a lot of fun. My favorites are when I get to go watch like a premiere of a film or something. Shazam was really fun because there was the main character there, and and it was pretty cool. So yeah, it's cool having these experiences. Um, and I feel like I shouldn't be there because they ask for the photo. I'm like, what am I doing here? But it's really fun.
I guess you're posing on like the red carpets as well, right? In front of all of
Yes,
the
yeah,
photographers.
yeah. So I'm like, well, what's happening here? I don't think I belong here. But yeah, it's really fun. I'd say it's one of the best like things that I get to do once in a while. It's really exciting.
Yeah, and get to meet new people. And what's fun
Yeah,
is you
yeah,
also get to meet, you got to attend sometimes with your friends and castmates,
yeah.
because Flavia's with the same talent
Yeah,
agents. You go
exactly.
together a
I
lot
always
of the
go with
time.
Flav, yeah. Yeah, that's really fun. I always call her before or like send her a message and say, "Are you going to this one?" And she's like, "Yeah." So we like meet before going in.
Yeah, and then you get to go with a friendly face, which is nice. And before filming season 2, something very cool is the cast reunited. You did the Holiday Secret Santa last year. So, what was it like to see everyone again in the same room and get to do that gift exchange?
Yeah. I mean, it was actually pretty exciting because I had been seeing them because I we're friends. We see each other once in a while, but I haven't seen them like all in the same room in the like on set, you know? And so it was pretty cool, and it was like, oh, this is happening again. And but we had fun. That was a different type of shooting day. Nice and easy, chill.
Except when the crew let out the confetti cannon, the confetti
Oh yeah,
bombs.
yeah, we got really scared. I got unlucky because I was sat right next to the cannon, so my eardrum was a bit damaged.
You're
I'm
like,
joking, it wasn't. It wasn't.
thank you, Netflix, like for scaring
I
us
got
all.
really scared. But the funniest I think is Andrea because he,
There
he
were
got
some
really scared.
screams too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
When you,
I think
yeah,
the when you get really scared, you don't scream. You just see like something leave your body, and that's
you
really
can
funny.
see a bit of like your soul drifting
Yeah,
away
yeah,
from you.
yeah.
When you filmed the Secret Santa, did you know that you were coming back for a season two?
I think they announced it, but it was like in like the beginning stages. I'm not sure because it was a while ago. I don't remember. Maybe yes, maybe no. I'm pretty sure that we knew that it was coming.
Maybe they hinted it to the cast, but I know it was not officially announced until I think it was early February. But maybe
Yeah,
they gave
yeah,
you a heads up for like
yeah,
availability.
yeah, something like that.
So speaking of season two, going into the season two premiere, you got to celebrate with Netflix at a back to school
Yeah.
party. How was that event, and what do you remember from all of the activities you did that day?
Oh well, that event was really fun. I was actually really scared going in because I was like, oh, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna make us do? But in the end, it was really fun. I actually really liked the world they created. Like they sort of created the set again. There was like basketball hoops and then little booths and stuff. I enjoy the basketball hoops myself, but but the thing I liked the most was seeing my fans because it was actually incredible. I like I've seen them once in a while, but I've never seen so many in one place. I've never been hoarded like that. And it was a nice experience. Like it makes me realize that like how important fans are in general. Like of course my fans, but any like person who has fans. Without those fans, they're actually nothing. Like they're just a regular person. So I realize in those types of scenarios how lucky I am and how much I appreciate them.
Have you perfected your autograph yet? Like signing for all the
Well,
fans?
that's one of my issues. I'm pretty sure like 30 people got 30 different autographs.
Looks different every time. It's unique,
Yeah,
right?
but my writing isn't that great. So probably the when they got back home, they're like, what does it say?
Whose
But
signature
I
was
have to
this again?
I have to sit down one day and get it down because that's actually an issue I have.
I'm
But
sure with time it will get better.
yeah. I have to just get it an easy like squiggle that I can do because
You
or
just
else it
need
becomes a
the
problem.
L and the N, and that's
Yeah,
basically it.
like I tried doing like Liam, then an N underneath, but then it was looking weird. So I did like a squiggly thing, but then that didn't work. And yeah, and for me the nightmare is when my fans ask me my fans ask me to like, oh, can you sign this for me and write their name? That's my biggest issue because like I never know how to spell their name. So I'm always really scared of like spelling misspelling it or like they won't be able to read their name.
So I'm guessing it took you a lot of time to get through everyone, making sure
I mean,
you're
yeah, it was a
trying
bit
your
of
best.
I mean, some people I don't even think I don't know what I wrote, but yeah, it was fun. I yeah, it was really fun. I asked like people what how to spell their names. It was funny.
And you mentioned basketball. I think it was you and another cast member. You were late to like the Q&A because you were too busy on the basketball courts. Were you late
Yeah,
late to the stage?
yeah, it was me. I mean, I don't know about the other. I met the other cast member like at the entrance of the Q&A. I was like, "What are you doing here? Let's go in." He said, "Oh, they're already in. I don't want to disturb." And I was like, "Come on, let's go. We can't miss this moment because they were all on the stage." But I was playing basketball with my friends because I couldn't play all the rest of the time because like the fans were in that area. And if I tried to play, I would have to like I couldn't play. I would take photos. I would take photos, but I couldn't play. So when they were watching the season, doing the Q&A, I went to play basketball, but I just saw the courts were free. I didn't know that they were having a
You
Q&A.
completely
I
missed.
was there having fun playing basketball with my friends, and I was like, "Wait, where are all the other cast members?" So I went to look at them, and they were on the stage.
They left
It
you
was really funny.
behind, but it was okay. You did join them, although a
Yeah, it was
little
actually pretty
late.
good. I got like the grand entrance.
And then I know there were also like music and dance performances.
Yes,
Fiamma and
yes,
Biagio were performing.
yes,
What was it like
yes.
seeing
Yeah, Joe.
them?
He inspired me. I asked him to teach me some moves. I'm still, I'm not there, but I'm getting closer.
Next season, Giulio will do the
Next
hip hop
season,
as well.
yes, breakdance. I'm into breakdance. Giulio is gonna be twisting and turning all over the place. I'm working on that coordination.
How do you think Giulio's personality changed from season one to season two? Like, what's the same and what's different about him?
All right. Well, of course, the same thing is that he has sort of the same aim of the series is he's the class clown, the guy who always makes like jokes and stuff. I think that he's pretty similar, and I hope he stays like that because that's my favorite part of him. And but he does change, like um, for example, he doesn't like Arianna anymore, so he changes, and I think more he changes, and I think he gets more mature, if you know what I mean. That's like the biggest change is that he understands. He's like, welcome to the real world. Yeah, you're growing up.
For sure. And we see that not only the relationship with Ariana, but also him being more focused on his future, like trying to find something new that he wants to do in high school. You did get to keep your hair more similar to how you as Liam wore it. Was that something you were happy about? That you didn't have to grow it out?
Yeah. Very, very happy.
And the mullet, though, I mean, season three, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm putting it out there. I don't think they liked it a lot. I didn't get that like at the back to school party I had it, and I don't know if I got the best feedback. But I'm just putting it out there.
It might grow on
I really like
people.
it because I like having like hairstyles that change because I think that my hair is like changes how I look. Like from if I cut it or when it's long, I like that.
Now, Giulio and Ariana break up at the end of episode one. Were you surprised when you saw this in the scripts?
Well, I actually knew it was coming because I could see I knew they were gonna switch something up. But I was surprised that it was at the first episode. I would think it would be later on. So they could, I don't know, carry it out a bit. But yeah, I guess I was a bit surprised.
I feel like maybe it ended early so it could make space for like Ariana's story, and then Giulio had like his new path that he was going on. But
Yeah.
it was still a little, I think, sad to see. Like, what was your reaction personally to their relationship coming to an end? And how did Giulio feel in that moment when he was dumped by Ariana?
Well, I think that moment is actually really funny in the series because in that moment Giulio doesn't feel sad because he's getting dumped. He's feeling sad because he didn't dump her, and he's not feeling really sad. He's feeling like what's going on here? Because he was preparing to dump her, and then all of a sudden he's getting dumped. So I tried like in that scene I tried getting sad, yes, but a bit like that's like that I was about to do it, like a bit nervous and saying that's unfair. And I think I got that what I wanted at the end, like at the end of the scene when when we walk away, I'm sort of like, what just happened there? But yeah, I had fun with that scene. And yeah, that's what he's feeling there. So it was pretty mixed feelings, but yeah.
Did you and like Francesca talk about it at all? Like your character's relationship? Were you sad to not share? You did still share a number of scenes with her, but obviously it wasn't like Giulio chasing Ariana or
Yeah.
trying to get her to be
Yeah, it
his
is pretty
girlfriend.
weird. Yeah, it is pretty weird that Giulio's not chasing her anymore. I would have imagined something a bit different. Like, I don't know, maybe if I had to write it, I would make, yes, Arianna break up with Giulio, but then like maybe when she's getting bullied, she realizes that she actually, needed him and he was actually really good. I don't know. I would have done something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, you never know.
definitely would have
Season
been
three,
interesting.
we're not done.
Yeah, I know there's still so much more to come. So many possibilities, really, with all these characters and their
Yeah.
relationships. But I do really love seeing them as friends because he is still really good support for her later on, which we'll talk about. But I wanted to talk about Giulio's kind of big story first, is that he's traded basketball for video games after playing video games all summer, both as a player and as a future designer. So tell me about this new passion of his and how do you think it first started?
Well, I mean, when I first read the script and saw that he was a gamer, I was like, oh, that's really cool. That's cool to work with. That's gonna be fun. And then I realized that he swapped that with basketball. And as Liam, I was a bit disappointed because I actually like playing basketball, and I had started playing basketball at school, and so I was looking forward to playing, but I guess that wasn't possible. But then when I saw how it developed, oh sorry, when I saw how it developed, it's actually pretty interesting. Because it's not just, oh, he plays video games. It actually shows that he makes them, and that's really important also for the kids to see that there are a lot of consumers in the world. But if you can become a creator and you use the technology instead of being used, I think when you understand that, you're gonna go a long way.
That's a really good message to take from it. Like you mentioned, it's not like he just mindlessly kind of plays the video games, but he
Yeah,
actually has a goal in mind for that.
yeah.
What kind of games do you think Julio's really interested and really likes to play?
Well, I mean, I don't know for sure because I've never played a game as Giulio, but if I had to think like Giulio, he would probably be playing like, I don't know, some first person shooter games, like, or like some battle royale games, and like playing a lot of that until getting good at that. That's what I would imagine him to play. Yeah.
I like what he mentioned in the show when he was saying like his game is his child and he is the father.
Okay.
He is definitely focused on those games in the season. What was your favorite scene to be a part of and why? So, favorite scene that Giulio was in episodes 1 through 7.
All right. Well, let me think. Wait. All right. Yes, this is an episode. It was one of my games actually. It was really fun. When Bianca goes to the ferry and Mirko runs after her. The scene right before that, before he runs after, like before school starts, there's me and Pietro playing one of my games, and the whole intro of of that game was me and him improvising, and it was really fun because it was a fishing game. So we were just, they told us it's a fishing game, and we improvised playing a fishing game. There was nothing on the screen, and we were having fun.
Was it the two cousins in a fishing
Yes,
contest? Was
yes,
that like
yeah,
that's funny
yeah,
that it was all like you were just improvising
yes,
it
yes. The
on the
beginning of that
spot?
scene was all, yeah, I got that. No, I was doing like pretending it was a rod.
You
Yeah,
could be,
yeah.
I guess it's a space that lets you be creative. So it's nice that you had fun with it.
Yeah, the director was like, all right, so I want this beginning of the scene to be more in, like, to be more powerful. So he told us just be like super into this and really energetic. And then he said, because he's like really, like, he helps us in that. Like when we can, he'll let us a little improvise. And I like that a lot of our director. Like obviously he
And
tells us how. He gives us like
like a direction, but then also lets you kind of have
yeah,
that freedom as the actor,
yeah,
which is great for you, especially when you're still kind of learning the craft too.
yeah, exactly.
I love the big group scenes like the bonfire in episode one. Is there anything that you remember from filming that scene and like the sing along?
Well, yeah, I mean, I definitely remember it because it was like we were all there. I think it was one of the first weeks of filming, so you know we were still a bit new, a bit rusty, but I think that scene like actually brought us together, like in the show. And I remember, yeah, it was really fun, because we were all there, and you know the group scenes are the fun ones, and it was and also a fun scene because we got to sing. I was a bit scared because I didn't like I didn't want to be too loud because I was scared that you would only
Hear
hear like
your
my off.
voice. You're like, I hope the microphone doesn't pick
Yeah,
me up very much.
yeah, yeah.
Who would you say is the best singer in the cast?
I would like I mean, I would say I am like Liam. Giulio isn't, but Liam is pretty good singer. I'm joking. I would definitely say Fiamma for sure. I mean, she sings in the I mean, yeah, I'd say her Fiamma.
She does sing Brava, which was featured in the show. And I wanted to talk about Fiamma because she was a wonderful addition to the main cast. She stars as Bianca and Giulio's cousin. What was
Yeah.
it like to have her join the group and share scenes with her where you can see some of that teasing family relationship?
Well, yeah, it was I guess like now that I remember it, she was never like the new one. She just like also in the show she gets like she integrates pretty quickly. Also in the cast we just yeah, yeah, she was always like I like if I think about her, I don't think, oh, she's the new one of the cast. She's always been there for me. Now it's weird that she wasn't in the first season. Now that you say it, I would think she would was.
Do you remember what it was like meeting her for the first time? Did you ever think
Yes,
about the relationship that the cousins had?
yes, yes. When I met her for the first time, I was like, whoa, I do not look like her. But then, but then, you know, it was great. Like she's really friendly. So yeah, from the beginning, we just yeah, and sometimes I do make a bit of fun of her and say like and call her like cousin and stuff.
Now, Giulio is part of the bonfire pact, but he later admits he does not want to go to scientific high school like he promised. He wants to go to IT high school. Why did he agree to the pact in the first place? And when did he begin to regret that decision?
Well, I mean, why did he agree? I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward. He agreed because he actually thought that it was a good idea. You know, Giulio is pretty instantaneous. When he thinks about something, he's in the moment. I mean, he doesn't think that much, but I think in that moment, Giulio was totally pro the pact because it was fun. Of course, he wants to stay with his friends, but then as the season progresses, he starts maturing a bit. And when he gets more mature, he sort of understands that, like, yes, it's nice being with your friends, but you can also be with your friends, but you have to study and do what you like. You can do stuff because of your friends. But I think he does it definitely because he wants to. I think that when he accepts, he's like totally pro, he's like excited. And then after a while, he's like, oh, maybe, oh, what did I do?
And at the holiday party is where he admits to everyone that he wants to go to IT high school. Take me through filming of that tense scene between, especially you and Andrea, with the kind of
Yeah.
shoving that ends up in the
Yeah.
tree being knocked over and like everyone's kind of arguing with each other.
Well, yeah. That was it was a pretty intense scene. It was pretty straightforward actually because we we also had a moment like that in the first season. I don't know if you remember where we like sort of like fought a bit. So we sort of used that energy again. But if there was something that I would do better, I think I would because when I push him, I don't push him strong like that hard at all. And I think that I should have like the scene should have been a bit more intense right before the tree falls, because like when I rewatched it, it just seemed like, oh, the tree falls and then he gets mad. But it's actually it's cool. It's a cool scene. Like it's different than what you usually have in the series. So it was definitely fun and yeah, a bit intense because everyone has to be in that mood where, oh, what just happened? Like he kicks us out. So first I have to be angry, push him over, and then feel like really guilty and what happened, leave. And but yeah, I think with him it's pretty simple because we're on the same, like we understand each other.
In that moment, like what do you think that Giulio is feeling? Like you said, maybe he feels a bit guilty. But did Pietro react how he thought he would react that way to him telling him he doesn't want to go to scientific high school?
Well, I mean, Giulio like was hoped he would react in a different way and was scared he reacted like he would react. So it was just like he was just like
Your
my
your like
computer.
laptop or phone almost
Yeah,
fell.
I almost dropped my computer, but it's fine now. So what was I saying? All right. Oh well, he was hoping that Peter would react like, "Oh, don't worry, it's fine." Dream fantasy world. But he ended up reacting like that, which is a mess.
I guess it wasn't surprising, like you said, to Giulio, but he was just hopeful that he would be a bit more
Yeah,
supportive. But Pietro, like as a character, he's always trying to bring everyone together.
exactly,
And I
exactly.
think that's both a good thing and, as we see at the end of the seventh episode, can be a negative thing as well. Giulio and Monica are the first to figure out that it is Arianna in the photos being bullied. How do you think Giulio felt after finding her jeans in the trash can and knowing that she was being bullied over her weight?
Well, definitely he was shocked because after like saying, "Who is this? This is horrible," and then it's you're like one of your closest friends, you definitely get like worried. And I think he's also pretty like weirded out because for him, like up to just like I don't know, a couple months before this happened, Arianna for him was like the best. She was like really beautiful and everything. So he's like, what's happening? And this shows that bullying doesn't just happen to people; it can happen to anyone.
For sure. And, for Giulio, like you mentioned, he always saw Ariana as a perfect person. And there's nothing wrong with her. And to see that this is happening to someone, like you mentioned, also his former girlfriend is shocking. Season two did really do a good job showing these issues for young people with bullying, but also pressures from family and friends. Like even Giulio kind of faces a bit of that when he has to stay in the pact, and also mental health and anxiety. So were you proud to be a part of this season that showed all of these issues on screen?
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's one of the main objectives of DI4RI in general, diaries. I think every episode, every season, there's a new real issue that's happening. I think it's really good that it actually shows on screen so people can relate. And there are all sorts of different things that people can relate to.
Which was your favorite scene as a viewer and why? So one that Giulio was not in episodes one to
Oh,
seven.
all right. Well, that I saw. All right. So I think my favorite was when Isa and Pietro are on the bike in two. I think that's really funny because I could see their faces and I know them in real life, and I could see like in some corners they were out of character for a bit. They were really scared. They almost fell like a couple times, and they also told us how it was shooting that like in real life. So it was pretty funny. I was looking forward to watching that, and it was funny.
Yeah, I was just talking to Sophia and she mentioned that it was very steep, like the
Yeah,
hills. So there
yeah,
was like she said, all these crew members, like four people with their arms out behind the camera, ready to catch them if they ended up falling. So it's funny seeing like I'm sure the behind the scenes and hearing it from your friends and your co-stars and then seeing it on screen, you can kind of
yeah.
put that together.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to be there, but unfortunately, it was like when we were shooting double unit, so like I was shooting something else somewhere else, like so. But it would have
Otherwise,
been,
I'm sure you would have loved to be there for like all the other scenes that you were
yeah, of
not
course,
in.
of course.
What are some of your favorite memories from set behind the scenes? Like, are there any moments
Yeah.
that you can remember, fun or funny moments from set?
Well, I mean, it's hard to have favorites because I mean, a lot of stuff is happening all the time behind the cameras. But I mean, I think my favorites are just all those little things that happen from from like the end of the scene to the start of the scene again. I think it's just because we've created like a sort of family, so we have a lot of fun. I had one time where they don't let us keep our phones in our pocket, obviously, because or else like you can see it through the camera and like if in the next scene you don't have your phone, you need it and you'll see that it disappears. So we have to keep it away. One time I forgot it in my pocket, so I gave it to one of the crew members, and when I got it back, I had like my whole storage was full of photos of like the whole crew doing weird faces. So yeah, that was I'm not giving my phone away like that again. Um and another one was it was probably with our like the cast. We had this dressing room when we were shooting the inside shots of the school. We had this dressing room and we had this ball. I don't know how it got there. We had a ball in there and we used to play like I don't know what to call it. We call it the Brasiliana. It's like where you have to keep it up without touching the floor and you only use your feet. But we used to play that and we had fun. We got the ball taken away, but it lasted for a bit, and that time was a good time.
Were you a winner at that game? I've seen it.
I mean,
I don't play it, but I've seen it, and it's hard to keep it in
yeah,
the air.
it's pretty hard. I mean, I've never played football, soccer. I've never played football in my life. So I mean I played it, but I've never played as like a sport. I've never trained. I've played with my friends. So I mean, I'd say I'm all right. I mean, I'm I don't. I mean, I'm not horrible, but I'm bad. I'll say I'm bad. I'm not good. I'm not horrible, but I'm bad.
I know in that game you can also like do anything to keep it off the ground. So you could even like headbutt it or use your
Yes,
arm
yes.
or yeah. I mean, maybe they took it, they thought you guys were having too much fun or they thought you would hurt yourself. So they're like, we're taking this ball away from you.
Yeah, and also, yeah, it wasn't the most professional thing to do, I guess. Also, we were also in our scene clothes, so we got
Can't
it
get
was
those dirty. You can't get those wrinkles on it, then
yeah.
the wardrobe will be working extra time. What message do you have for the fans of the show? Both the support from your Italian community who, really showed up at the premiere and online, but also worldwide now that the show is released in all these different countries.
Well, I mean, my message is to watch it first of all, obviously, and then thank you for watching, and thank you for being my fans and our fans and supporting the show. Like I say, always, without you guys, we're nothing. So yeah, that's the most important thing. That's my message.
What can you tease about the second half of the season? Maybe just in general, because I know you can't really say anything about the back half of the season, but why should fans tune in, like in terms of excitement level wise? Like,
Yeah.
are your favorite moments in the back half of the season?
Well, yeah, for sure. That's the best because there's the best episode ever in that season, which is my episode.
You did have an episode that you did narrate. So with the longer episode, with the longer season, I imagine that like each character gets like a second episode as well. So hopefully a conclusion to kind of that
Yeah.
storyline. But did see Power in episode one, who is Giulio's idol. Did you get to meet Power on set that day?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Was it a cool experience for
Yes,
you?
it was really cool. I'm just sorry. I'm just really like trying not to say something I can't say. But but yeah, it was a really cool experience. Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like they don't introduce someone like Power just to have no speaking lines. So here's to hoping he gets to meet Giulio at some point in the second half of the season. Final question for you, a fun one. If you were to compete as a contestant on Master Chef, what would you make as your signature dish and why?
Uh, well, I think my signature dish has been since I was like 3. I made there's actually a video, like maybe you can put in like I don't know the link or like the something. It's a video that I did for like my family had a YouTube channel where we did funny stuff. But the main thing was that um it was this family that tried to get this photo album done at the end of the month, and there were always like issues they had. But you could definitely put that in the link. And the video is called Meet Liam, and it was like the separate thing that introduced me. I was 3, and I made my signature chocolate pie. The best thing. I love it. I love eating it. I mean, I think I'm better at eating it than making it, but it's still my signature dish. And it's my great grandmother's recipe. So it's a secret recipe. And
So no
yeah.
spoilers here.
No, secret recipe. I'm not telling. My grandfather passed it down to my mother, and my mother passed it down to me. So
That's so nice that it's like a family tradition, though.
yeah, yeah.
Or would you say that you're a good baker? Is it only for this dessert?
I mean, no, just I'm a chocolate pie maker. That's what I would call myself.
That's it, only chocolate pie.
Yeah.
That's great. I love the answer. I do remember that I think when I was doing research for the first interview that your family did like
Yeah.
skits on YouTube.
Yeah, you should definitely put that in the link.
I'll
It's a
put
really funny video. Meet Liam. I was like 3.
It's funny to look, I guess, back at those videos now
Yeah,
that it's
yeah,
like around like 13 years later.
yeah.
Well, it was so nice to catch up with you. I won't keep you any longer, but thank you again. It's been so nice.
All right. Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun again.
And for all those watching, make sure to catch Liam in DI4RI or Diaries season 2, episodes 1 to 7 are out on Netflix, and we will see you next time.